Hey everyone, Michael Greenwood here. So, for this video, I'm going to talk about energy and vibration and frequencies. So, this is how I personally use these techniques, if you want to call them, or just really like a way of living to understand and perceive, like things like emotions and the direction that I'm going in and decisions that I'm making and stuff like that. But it's how I'm kind of embracing the day in general. So from waking up in the morning, being positive, not being negative, being around positive people, disengaging from people or groups of people or circumstances that are basically energy pendulums, which can suck you in and keep you in there, and you don't really know that you're in there, but when you're inside that, and it's very negative, and it's like an energy vampire basically, where it can suck the energy, it feeds on your energy and stuff like that. Sounds a bit weird, but it's basically quantum physics, where we're all vibrating. Really, we're all energy. We're all vibrating at a certain frequency, and you can change that frequency basically. And it's all a decision. It's all just having insights and understanding, and it's a mindset basically. And if you think about that word mindset, you can set your mind onto a different frequency. So there's high vibrational frequencies, high energy, so love, joy, gratitude, all that kind of thing. So that's why every day I'm saying what I'm grateful for. I'm doing my gratitudes. I'm doing my affirmations and things like that, so that I'm not, and I'm watching the way that I speak as well. So if there's any negativity, like we can't do that, I'll change that to how can I do that, and that opens up the mind to a world of possibilities basically. So the thing is, when you're around negativity, or when you've been negative yourself, you've got to remember that negativity itself is a form of energy, and the energy is low, so it's a low vibrational frequency. You've got to be very mindful of this, and very kind of introspective about that, this kind of thing, if you want to kind of do better in life, in business, in work, or whatever in general. So it's not good to be around negative people, because they kind of suck the life out of you. Literally suck the life out of you in terms of the energy, because it can really have a bad effect on your body as well. Because what's going on in the mind, if you're stressed with negative thoughts and like fear, for example, then it can really have a bad effect on your physiology as well. So yeah, very powerful, the mind. So optimism, positivity, is really important. It's all a decision. You can decide how you react to things. There's that, we have the benefit as sentient creatures, as human beings, of having that space between stimulus and response, where we've got that decision that we can make on how we're going to react, even when bad things seem to be happening around us. But it's also about not having a victim mindset as well, so having an internal locus of control. So we're actually taking responsibility, because if we're taking responsibility, and if we're saying basically things are our fault, then we've got control, and that's where we can actually make a big change. So it's just been very mindful and not going through life on autopilot. I think most people go through life on autopilot, and they're just going through the motions. You see people at the gym just going through the motions, not really challenging themselves. You see people in the workplace just going through the motions and turning up and clocking in, clocking out, and that kind of thing. And if that works for them, that's fine. Not looking to change anybody who doesn't want to change, but just wanted to put some information out there, where the way that I work, the way that I think is very kind of purposeful, and quite introspective about what's going on in my environment, and been like aware of it, so I can then make a change and course correct along the way. If you want to do some further reading on this, and kind of not even take my word for it, There's a really good book. There's lots of really good books on this, but I mentioned Energy Pendulums. I get that from Reality Transurfing, which is quite good. You can get on Audible as an audio version. I've got the hardback book, and I'll dive into that and get into it. It's a great book. It describes kind of life as a timeline, like a film strip, basically. So, like the negatives of a film strip kind of thing, if you can visualize that. And it's like you can go into a different timeline just by making the decision, basically. And you can. There's also power versus force as well. If you kind of combine these things, these ways of thinking, these viewpoints, I suppose, these paradigms, with power being high vibrational energy, high vibrational in terms of frequencies, force being quite low. So if you're trying to force things and it's never really going your way, just ease into things and just kind of go with the ebbs and flows of like a river, as that kind of metaphor. So if you imagine you just stood, you've taken your shoes and socks off, or whatever, you've rolled up your your trousers or whatever you're wearing, something like that. You're kind of paddling in this shallow kind of stream with a bit of current. Just imagine you're moving, slightly with the ebbs and flows rather than trying to force your way, and all that kind of thing. So that can be a way of thinking about it, kind of thing, where you kind of go in with the ebbs and flows rather than trying to kind of force your way forward. So if you take some time, put some time in your diary, or just some time to have a think about things, and the direction that you're going in, rather than kind of always being in action, if that makes sense. So always kind of being down in the weeds, nitty gritty, and the operational stuff. If you actually take come up for some air, take kind of I call it, in management terms, it's a 30,000 foot view of what's going on, like a top down view. So you can say, right, what are the KPIs? What am I optimizing for in any area of life? I'm not just talking about business. A lot of people think I just talk about business stuff a lot, but it could be you want to lose some weight, you want to eat healthier, you want to cut down your drinking or stop drinking alcohol, you want to stop smoking, maybe you've got some habits you want to change into, you want to get some better habits and stuff like that. You can really take stock and then make a change. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes when you it's very uncomfortable coming out your comfort zone to make a change, because you almost get within this kind of safety zone where you're used to doing it. It becomes, the detrimental behaviour becomes, comfortable, if that makes sense. You're just used to it. Basically, your neural pathways are widened that way, so it's just easier to do it. As human beings, we'll go for the path of least resistance. So, but yeah, when you wake up in the morning, rather than getting onto social media or emails or anything like that, a good hour and a half just doing things like journaling, gratitude. So 3 things you're grateful for, or even 10 things you're grateful for, whatever works for you. I don't want to be too prescriptive with this. Send some good thoughts or love even to your people who are 3 people who are bothering you. Write down some affirmations, and some sort of start rewiring your brain like that. And then you can do some meditation as well. I like to do some guided meditation with some YouTube videos from Dr. Joe Dispenza. That's quite cool. And then just whatever morning routine it is, but away from the technology, away from the plethora of inputs that we all get. I mean, I use social media primarily for business, and just putting content out there, being a creator rather than a consumer. I look at a lot of content because I'm getting ideas for things like paid ads, meta ads, YouTube ads and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people might block the ads on YouTube, but I've got them switched on, even though they can be quite annoying to get ideas for ads, because I've got a marketing advertising agency. But with the thing with social media, I'd try to use it more as a creator rather than a consumer, is what I'm saying, and that can keep you in higher vibrational energy. You don't want to get sucked into these kind of energy pendulums, like for example, too much of what's going on, and especially if you can't control it, you don't have input into it, because there's kind of some peace in focusing on what you can control and then not kind of worrying on what you can't control and things like that. So that's that thing between stimulus and response. You can get really annoyed about things, but put you into low vibrational energy. So just be mindful of that as well. If you get in, I see a lot of guys and girls on social media, they're kind of arguing on comments and things like that. That is crazy stuff to me. I've never got involved in that kind of stuff, but they're kind of arguing with each other and all that kind of thing. I would never even entertain that. They're too busy for that. But people are doing it, and people are kind of getting wound up with it, and it's the energy is important, but the type of energy as well. So high vibrational energy flows through you. It's not even something that can be created, but you can have energy sucked out you pretty quickly. If you get into these situations, you can get in a bit of a bind with these things as well. So yeah, avoid energy vampires at all cost. Avoid negative energy pendulums at all cost. Don't let anybody suck you into any rubbish that you don't want to be involved in. In terms of your mindset, energy levels, or anything like that. I'll just close this video just by saying, let's say there's some things that you can simplify in your life at all. Like let's say just little simple things now where we've been selling some things, like eBaying some things that are no longer require, so the kind of surplus to requirement, to get rid of some stuff really. So the rule has been like, if it's not been used for a year, then how are we going to use it? Right, we'll sell, all that kind of thing, and been going through stuff, and that's been quite kind of nice in terms of decluttering and that, because a good friend of mine, Peter, he a couple of years ago, he said to me, I was going to sell some guitar pedals, because I don't really play guitar much anymore, and I had too many. And I said, look, Peter, these have got some kind of sentimental value to me. I don't really want to let these go. And he said, look, it's taking up space. You have to think about kind of dusting them and keeping them, and it's not just taking up physical space, but it's taking up head space as well, because there's kind of space in your mind thinking about them. And even though these are kind of inanimate objects, Michael, you want to be, the guitar pedal wants to be played by somebody and enjoyed by somebody. That's the purpose of the guitar pedal. So I sold them, never really thought about them again until I've kind of told stories like these, just to illustrate the point that if you've got anything binding you in your life, generally speaking, have a good look at it. If you look at your laptop, you've got some clutter on your desktop. If you've got an untidy environment, if you read the book Atomic Habits, you want to have a nice tidy desk. If you want to create some good habits like drinking more water, have some bottles of water, get a fridge for your office or something like that. I don't know, whatever works for you, but have water at different points in the house, so it's always in mind. Because if it's out of mind, sight, out of mind, then if it's in sight, then it's top of your mind, isn't it? So important to understand that environment design is very, very important. So that's just not the people who we're around, because we are the some of the average 5 people who we hang around with the most, and that's about mindset, that's about leveling up and all that kind of thing in life. But also the environment that we're in is very important as well. If we've got a cluttered environment, we can have a cluttered mind, so that's important as well. Just closing this video off then to say about kind of the way I think about energy in general and decisions. Let's say I come up with an arbitrary figure, that you've got, say, 100 units of decision making or energy or whatever in a day. Let's say, it's the same one of those 100 units to make a big decision or a small decision. So if you're making little small decisions like what colour socks to wear or something like that, or there's the classic one with like Einstein, Steve Jobs, and guys like that, where they had the same kind of outfit and they could just kind of go into the wardrobe and pick it out and stuff like that. So you know what I'm talking about with that, don't you? If you know those stories. So just anything you can do in your life where it kind of simplifies things, where you can make fewer kind of less important decisions, smaller decisions like that. You can make more room for making big decisions. So that's kind of one of my life hacks, I suppose, where thinking of ways of simplifying things. One of the other things that we're doing this weekend is been kind of keeping some of the boxes. When you buy something, you keep the box in case you ever need to sell it. I'm being quite brutal. We're getting rid of a few of the boxes now, and you can flat pack them. You can kind of put them in a corner somewhere. You can put them in a cupboard or something like that. But we want to get rid of some of those as well. So we're doing a bit of that cluttering as well. And decluttering your environment declutters your mind. So that's another one. Right, close up the video. I hope you're all well. Take some action on these tips. Don't just watch this video and then do nothing, because if you do nothing, nothing will happen. It stands to reason, it's logical. But yeah, just take some action on it, even if it's just one thing from this video that helps you today. That's why I'm creating these videos.